Davis. You know me by now, Catholic Family Podcast, and I got a new idea, and that is something that I want to call the weekly roundup or something of the sorts. I have a idea in my head of an introduction with the Blues Brothers singing the roundup song, the hit 'em up, move 'em out. Rawhide. That's the thing. As I accidentally hit my camera, and the idea, well, not to have camera problems. That's one of the ideas. Is to use materials from some of my favorite websites that cover Catholicism issues in the church, etc. So we're talking about Nova Sorta Watch, WM Review, Chris Jackson on Substack, Stephen Cox on Substack, Intro Ebo, definitely a good friend of the show for many years, and to try to go and get the best material that I see from them, and to do a brief summary at the end of each week about kind of like what have they talked about. Now, the issue being I don't have that much time during the week, as people have probably seen by now. Got two jobs, got three kids. It's tough even to get my own normal podcast going. Been doing shows obviously with Louis Verrecchio, which have been amazing. And I got to shout out real quickly for anyone watching. He just did a show with Stephen Cox. So two of the guys who I really like and trust and love their material did a show together. That was on Stephen Cox's YouTube channel, Cox News. Really good and really, really good. They talked about, really some of the most important topics out there. Some of the biggest questions about Sedevacantism. And Louis just home run, just hits a home run answering those questions. And just, I certainly could not have answered it better myself. And yeah, really good. You can find that on Cox News. I'm sorry, KOKX. So interesting spelling to the name. I'll have to ask him where that comes from. It seems like it must be Polish or something, because it's definitely interesting spelling for that. But and again, I wanted to go and do a summary of these different channels. So for instance, I'll have to go do my homework. I'll find stuff during the week that I find interesting from these channels and others. I may find stuff on X or Twitter, and maybe even, I don't know, Fox News, whatever. I mean, something that strikes my fancy and that I think is worth talking about. And then we will do a brief summary of that. So for example, here is Intro Ebo. He always publishes every Monday. So here, you see Contending for the Faith, part 43, Trancing Children to Death. My idea again would be that I read through this article, I give a summary of the article, and then I link to the article so that you guys can have an idea about exactly, kind of what I'm talking about. But then you go and you can actually read the actual article and get an idea about what to do. Phil Gonzalez, yeah, more ecumenical. Well, at least it's Catholic material rather than sarcastic material, Phil. I think everyone's kind of sick of your guys' shtick. So enjoy your audience of like 5 people. Keep up with that. Yeah, and again, so with these other channels, as we do this show, again, for instance, we'll go over to WM Review. I don't know about if we'll talk about Newman. That's not so interesting for me. This one was one of the most interesting stories that I actually saw the entire week. A big time social media guru, I suppose, the sideman manager, did an interview on the BBC. So Jordan Schwarzenberger, definitely a very German name, 28 years old, went on the BBC and described himself as a traditional Catholic. He described the issues with Vatican II. He's been named as one of the Forbes 30 under 30 entrepreneurs. So a big time guy, and he's talking about the French Revolution. He's talking about the issues with Vatican II. And really, again, I'm not saying this guy's got all the answers, and I'm not saying the BBC purposely platformed someone who was a traditional Catholic, but just the fact that this is allowed to air, just the fact that this guy is thinking these things, to me, I see a big shift in momentum, in where we're headed As you see here, the interviewer says, so I think the 1960s are held up to be kind of an era in which radicalism and the cult of the self and the pursuit of hedonism, it's like the 1960s get blamed for an awful lot of stuff. Schwarzenberger says it wasn't to blame. Rajan, the interviewer, says, sorry. Schwarzenberger says it was the Second Vatican Council. That's awesome. I mean, come on. Again, I'm not saying this is a full win, but this is a good deal. This is good stuff that's happening, and it is certainly, yeah, momentum that we will take that we're happy with. And again, that's the idea of the podcast that I want to run. I think I'll do it live. I mean, live is always a little bit worrisome because tech issues, or maybe I say something stupid, but I like to have the comments to help me along and to provide maybe perhaps other links and information that I am not sharing by myself, that other people really enjoyed. And yeah, I think it should be pretty fun, but it will require some work. I'll have to put it together through the week, excuse me, as I read through material. And I'll have to see if I have time, because like today, Friday evening at 7:45, it just got the kids in bed, and I have other stuff I've got to do. Don't have a ton of time. Didn't have a ton of time to put this together this week, so I was like, I'll just wing it and see how it goes. Yeah, let's see. But I do hope to do this either Friday nights, Saturday nights. I want to do it tomorrow, but I have a friend coming over to spend the evening smoking pipes and drinking Bavarian beer, so I will not be podcasting. So apologies to that. So I'm just saying here in the comment section, tea time. Would you ever try to have a Catholic dialogue with Alan Harrelson from the Pipe Cottage podcast? Alan Harrelson is with Vatican II Church and convert. I haven't heard of him, so I'm not sure. And it's as Phil Gonzalez says, I mean, the ecumenical content is a dangerous path. You got to be careful who you have on and what the content is. I think that is true. That's why I haven't blocked Phil for being annoying. But I do think, like the show we did with Anthony Abate and Mario Dirksen last week, these types of conversations are good in the right context. They're good in the right times. They're good to have if I have someone on who can really answer the questions. I am a state of Ecumenism. I know these things pretty well. I've talked with priests and bishops and Mario Dirksen and Louis Vrecchio, etc. But I'm not that smart. I'm a sports jock. I admit that fully. I before this show I had a sports podcast. I did football. I did NFL. So I don't pretend to be someone who has a big brain and who knows all these things. So it's better when I have on someone like Mario, Louis, someone who's really smart and who knows this stuff in and out, who can answer these questions, or a priest, of course, who has studied these things, and I haven't. So just interviewing these people, it's a bit dangerous, but in the right context, perhaps it could be. I think that's certainly possible. But I do think, again, like the Anthony Abate video was really good, because we are clearly maintaining our position, explaining our position, and bringing in people to hear our position. They're seeing the normality of sede vacantis. They're seeing that, hey, these people are they're normal and they're Catholic and they have a pretty good thought out position. Of course, I believe my position to be true and the others to be false, or well, I wouldn't hold this position. I mean, that's clear. But that doesn't mean that we can't talk with them if it's in the right circumstance. So I can't just start having on a bunch of Novus Ordo podcasters to talk about willy-nilly stuff, because that can get tricky. Like, I can't promote their podcast because I don't think they're in the Catholic Church. But I would love to have conversations about them. And maybe I would go on their podcast, as long as I can very clearly define what my position is. I mean, it is tough. It's a really hard position. It's something that I've talked with priests about. I've talked with my parents about, who helped me run this podcast. What is the comfort zone? What is the level where you can talk with these people who are not exactly of my same beliefs, and who then again hold to positions I believe to be false? How much can you, where's the line? Where's the line where you say no? Where's the line where it's too ecumenical? And it is hard. That is a hard line. But I do think for sure that this idea that we can't talk to them. They disagree with me on this, and this. So they are damned, and I'm not going to talk to them. It's silly. It's simply silly. Excuse me. So here is traditional Catholic Mama. I think it would be awesome for Louis and Anthony to have a conversation. Maybe Louis could tell his story of how he came to his position. Yeah, I mean, if you watch the show with Louis and Steven, just fantastic. Louis is just he's so good. He has a really good way of succinctly explaining himself and his positions, and he's just a nice guy. I just like him. I like Louis a lot. Louis, you're awesome. Um, really cool guy, and definitely someone I like on my side. Someone I want. If I go down the deep dark alley of R and Sedevacantism and Novus Ordo, I want Louis to be there in the dark alley on my side. Tea time again, asking about tobacco. Alan also smokes pipe tobacco. That makes sense. He's from the South and conservative. I appreciate that. My mom is very Southern from North Carolina. So I definitely I bleed Southern blood, certainly. What kind of tobacco blend? I'm not sure. My friend from Munich is going to pick it up because I live in the boonies and don't have access to good tobacco. I'll have to let you know, but he'll get good stuff. He's got good taste. He'll get some good tobacco. Can you guess what 1854 means? Again, from tea time. 1854. Oh boy. 1854. Is that Vatican One? That would have been 1854. That would have been around Vatican One, right? Pius the Ninth. Trying to think anything. What else happened in 1854? I'm sorry, tea time. I'm not sure. It's good though. Trivia. I'm already losing followers of this stream. It's all right. Yeah. Again, the idea was just to be a brief, not even a proof of concept because I didn't really have time to put this together. But the idea of it again, how it could work, going through and sharing different news channels and again different articles from the week. Stephen Cox again. Archbishop Vigano rebukes Trad Inc. Interesting stuff. I mean, again, if I have time, I can go through and I can get some of these clips because I know Stephen talks about it in his YouTube article. If anyone wants to become a podcast producer, let me know. I would love to have some help because 1954, the Immaculate Conception definition that makes sense. Yeah, I could have guessed that. Interesting. Isn't it always interesting with history how you can compare historical timelines, kind of how Saint Bernadette and the Immaculate Conception, and then you had the Civil War, and it's interesting. Is that interesting how you kind of disconnect them in your brain, but then when you think about them together about what was happening at the same time, really, really pretty fascinating, I think. Speaking of smoking, I just heard, I think Michael Knowles saying that St. Philip Neri was a tobacco smoker as well as St. Pius X. So definitely in some good company for those who smoke tobacco. I don't regularly do it. I very irregularly do it. My wife is not a fan, but when I do, I enjoy it. I like a good cigar or a good pipe with a little bit of scotch or a little bit of good schnapps. Good stuff. Certainly good stuff. One of the other channels I want to promote in this coming series, again, the weekly roundup, if that's what I end up calling it, will be Chris Jackson. He is not a sedevacantist, so Phil is not going to be happy about it, but he puts out really good material. He's a very good writer, a good journalist, and he puts out good information. As you see, the case against Leo the 14th. His memes have also gotten him in a bit of trouble a couple times. He's certainly not afraid of putting out some kind of edgy material. But you see here, just good stuff. Just saying again in the first 100 days, what are some things that he thinks are a problem with Leo the 14th, and it's really good. He's a very good writer. He's a good researcher. And it's good information that can help us understand the truth and understand the evils of what is happening right now in Rome. So again, yeah, call it ecumenical all you want, but it is definitely good material that I think will help people to find the truth. And yeah, hopefully, if they see this material, they find his stuff and they find then our stuff, they can then go and watch the series with Louis Vecchio and see how absolutely insane Vatican II is. I'm trying to do a show soon about, say, invincible ignorance. I want to do a show soon about the issues of the modern rites of ordination and consecration. So big things, big things that are problematic, and that hopefully, if people watch these shows, they'll see there are issues. And as always, the channel will continue with the saints quick takes that my mom does, the sermons, and again, always trying to show how beautiful our faith is. Phil Gonzalez, shouldn't Sede Picante be mandatory watching for all Sedes? No, I'm afraid not. Sorry. Hello from St. Thomas More Mission in Durban, South Africa. Hello from St. Thomas More. Wow, I like the name of your mission. First of all, he's an amazing saint. What an interesting. He is one of the most interesting saints, because I think he was such a part of the world, such an interesting character. A lawyer, Chancellor of England, very high up, worldly, kind of not esoteric. That's not the right word. I don't want to say anything bad about St. Thomas More. This is the issue with live shows. I really respect him. He's really a great man, but pretty kind of part of the world. But when it came to certain things about his faith, he would not budge, and was obviously martyred for it. I love him. What an amazing saint. It's one of my favorite movies, the Man for All Seasons. I'm not saying it's exactly accurate to his life, but it really portrays the hero that he was in a pretty good way, I think, and just the craziness of the times in Henry VIII. And one of my more favorite movies. It's got some language that doesn't need to be in it, but otherwise, definitely I recommend. But it's nice to see people watching from South Africa. What time is it in South Africa right now? I don't even know. Usually I can guess, but South Africa. Actually, maybe is it the same time as me? It's probably evening, right? Is it 7:00 p.m.? Is it possible, as we see with tea time, possible to chat with Alan about fatherhood, pipe tobacco, family values? I don't know. Again, it's a hard line. I don't know him. I just don't know Alan, so I don't know anything about him, so I can't really judge. So maybe I have to look up his channel. So it's hard to say, but yeah, you do have to be 8 p.m. So it's the same time as us. Funny. Weird. South Africa is the same time. I know it's going this way, but still. Yeah, I don't know. It is a tough time. I do try to vet my guests or people I have on the show a lot now. There was a time where I didn't do that, and it certainly came back to bite me in the butt. So I'm pretty careful about it. Typically, I try to do priests or people who I really am pretty sure of their stance, where they are in their beliefs and faith and morals and culture. So I'd have to look into this Alan guy. So maybe I won't say no, because again, what is our position? Again, I'm a Sede Contest. Everyone knows that, right? Everyone who's watching this, I'm sure they know that. I was born and raised into that. That's who I am. I believe in that position. I've accepted that. I was raised in that, but I accept it as myself. Even with I've had plenty of doubts, and growing up, trying to find out what is the truth, where is the Catholic Church, and I do truly believe that the men in Rome who've said they've been popes since 1958 aren't. It doesn't make sense. That cannot be the church. So that is where I've come to with that. But does that mean we just can't talk to anyone else? Again, it's like, do I just say, okay, you go to SSPX? No, I'm never talking to you, even about social matters, about fatherhood, etc. Do I not talk to an expert about parenting or about being a husband, etc.? It's a tough. Stephen, good to see you, by the way, and I'm glad that you appreciate my bashing of Phil Gonzalez. I love the Sailor Cast crew, except for when I don't. Let's just say it that way. But again, I think we got to be when we just shut these people out. Where's our growth going to come from? I've seen that here. I've seen it in our churches here. If we do a pilgrimage, and it's like, this guy wants to come from, he attends the SSPX. Should he be allowed to come on our pilgrimage? It's like, of course he should. It's our pilgrimage. Like, he's joining he knows what we stand for. We have a Sede Vacantis priest coming and leading our pilgrimage. And if this SSPX guy wants to come on our pilgrimage, that's awesome. This is good. This is a good thing, right? So you don't want to have any creeps. You got to know them a little bit, right? You got to make sure, okay, these aren't some weirdos who are going to stab you in your sleep on a, in a tent on a pilgrimage. But you got to be a little open. We have to be a little less ready to just jump down people's throats. I mean, Stephen Cox is a great example. Stephen's still trying to find, exactly what the truth is. And it's a hard position. It's a hard thing. The church is crazy right now. It is. It's a hard situation that, I think that people just think they come to the realization of state of vacante. Okay, there's no Pope in Rome. And then once we accept that, it's kind of like, how on earth do people not understand it? How do they not understand it? It's like, well, and I've done that too. I've done it on shows, So it's not like I can't understand why people do it, but it's like it's silly, right? It's like, I mean, the idea of saying that all of this, Rome is a complete sham. The popes for 60 years are a sham. Now, yeah, I fully believe that, fully, completely. Don't get me wrong. But we do have to keep like, okay, calm down a little bit. Let's let people, let's let them come to it a little bit. We'll get Stephen. We're gonna get him soon. Stephen's he's gonna be carrying that banner, the Sede banner pretty quickly. St. Thomas More. 3 missions here in South Africa, plus 500 faithful. That's fantastic. Wow. Who is the priest who is going down there to South Africa? That's awesome. I love hearing that. South Africa has some crazy politics from what I hear, but can't say much. Apparently, German politicians getting potentially murdered. Yeah, little scary. Portuguese. I really wonder what your real name is, Portuguese, because I doubt it's Portuguese. Saying you saw Stephen Cox's upcoming podcast on the Big Bang Theory. That's really interesting. Father Lemaitre was a huge modernist, very antagonistic to Genesis. Oh man, all right, fire! I like it. I am certainly a fan of someone who's talking against Big Bang. That's another really interesting topic. I mean, old Earth, new Earth. That one, it's tough. I mean, some people say it's absolute dogma that you have to believe in young Earth. I think you have to believe in. Oh, Phil Gonzalez with 9.99. Wow, Phil. Selah. Okay, I'll put that one on the screen. That one I can put up. I don't even know what Selah means, so maybe I shouldn't. Is that a bad word or something? I actually don't even know. What was I saying? Oh yeah, Big Bang Theory. Yeah, I mean, I think it's the young Earth, the old Earth one. I don't quite know. It does seem like there is evidence that the Earth is older than, what is it, 10,000 years old. But the generations, I think that, yeah, people have been around for 7,000 years. Yep. And I think that's that. I as far as I understand, I don't deny it. I don't want to deny anything from the Bible. So if someone can convince me that the Bible says the Earth is 10,000 years old, and really convince me, then I'm there. But it seems like the Earth can be older. I think someone correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe we'll see in Stephen's podcast. But the Big Bang doesn't make sense. I don't get it. Anna Paiva. You write for the 4 marks. Well, it's nice to meet you, Anna. I would not even have guessed that you're a woman. I'm not saying that's good or bad. I just wouldn't have guessed it. So I'm glad to have you here. You're one of the regulars on here. I appreciate you. It's cool to see us from St. Thomas More. Just had a visit from Bishop Nkamake. That's fantastic. I love Bishop Nkamake. He's one of my favorites. I need to do an update with him. It's been, I think, about a year since we've done our last update. They always have crazy things going on in Nigeria. He's one of my favorites. Just love him and his priests. Father Jacob hopefully will come on soon to talk about one of those topics I mentioned. Sorry, did I get the pronunciation wrong? Portuguese. Ana Paiva. I guess I pronounced that like a German. Is it Paiva? Paiva? Ana Paiva? Is it Mexican or something? I'm sorry. I'm American living in Germany. My pronunciations are pretty rough. Anyway, I'm going all over the place here, guys. I don't know when I do these shows. I don't know if I'm going to be so all over the place with the comment section. I really do want to more like, okay, I'm going to really cover these stories, I'm going to go over to Nova Sort of Watch, and I'm like, okay, what does Nova Sort of Watch talk about? And I'm obviously going to have read the article and do a summary if I have time. That's the problem. It really is the problem. I really don't have that much time. So I'm really want to do the series because the idea is I really feel like, and you guys tell me if I'm wrong, I feel like there's a big shift. I feel like there is a change in momentum, that there is a shift towards normalizing scientific contism. People are looking for tradition. They're looking for truth. They want to have these conversations and have them like real conversations. They want to talk about Vatican II. They want to really discuss these things, and that's awesome. And I think that's kind of my idea, is that I want to get these top voices, which are like 5 or 6 of these guys. Like I said, Nova Sort of Watch, WM Review, Stephen Cox, Chris Jackson, Intro Ebo, Louis Verrecchio, and of course anything I get from the CMRI or Bishop Sanborn, that really strikes my fancy. Then I will, summarize it as best I can. Guys, again, like I said, I am a sports jock. I am not a brainiac. I'll do my best to understand it and summarize it. My idea, again, is that I will try to spread this information so that more people will go and read the actual article of smart people. That's the end idea. Portuguese, Piava. Wait, that doesn't make any sense. Paiva, you pronounce it Piava. Come on, that's ridiculous. That doesn't make any sense. You met Mario. Mario is a legend. Mario is the best. I love him. He is worth. It's just another one of those crazy things with this whole podcast. That, I mean, first of all, I have 30 people watching it. Most people would be like, yeah, 30 people. It's not 3,000 people. Where's my money? I got $10 from Cast. So you guys are you're on my good list for the next couple minutes. But just to be able to do shows with Mario Dirksen, it's ridiculous. It's really insane. Opaiva. Okay, I got it. Well, I'm gonna get there with you, Anna. Anna, I can figure out. But no, Mario he's awesome, and Louis. I mean, these guys were they really at the top of their game. Steven, the guys that I can just text and say, "Hey guys, I want to do a podcast." It's wild. Steven, give me a red flag. Thanks, Steven. No, it really is. It's just crazy. It still blows my mind. Again, as a sports guy, I just did a podcast because I was sick of talking about COVID, and here we are talking with some of the biggest guys out there, and making differences. Making a difference. That's awesome. It really is awesome. I mean, had the show with Mario where we talked about the video from Anthony Abate, and had people in the comment section like, "Hey, you guys got to stop making so much sense." We stop making sense. We don't want to be Sades kind of a thing, and that's awesome. And again, I know that's not me. That's Mario, and that's fine. But I mean, just be able to host Mario, it's so cool. It's so cool. Just amazing. I missed your messages, Tea Time. I'm sorry. Okay, let's see. It's going too fast. My apologies. Let's see what Tea Time says. They say, I don't know, Tea Time, if you're a man or a woman. Tea Time with an EA makes me think you're a woman, but if it was EE, I would think you're a man, a golfer. I don't know. I feel like those in SPX, clergy and laity, have one foot in Rome, the other foot in scientific contism. Just my observation. Did you see what I said about my faith experience? No, sorry. I missed that too. Yeah, SPX has, it's really, it doesn't work. Sorry. It just doesn't compute. You're a Russian Orthodox Christian, received confirmation from them, but now working with Samurai priests to become Catholic. Oh, that's awesome. Hey, good for you. Samurai is the best. I have a brother in the Samurai, two sisters who work with Bishop Pervunus, nuns. So they're the best. You're in good hands. Let's say it that way. Portuguese Anna says, my great grandmother witnessed a miracle of the sun. Her name was Maria do Rosario, Mary of the Rosary. That's awesome. Wow. That's amazing. Isn't it amazing with Europe? You talk with these Europeans and they're just like, oh yeah, my great grandfather was part of the crusades or whatever. They just have so much history. It's amazing. That is really cool. Um, tea time says as the drink, Annie's a guy. Okay, fair enough. I like tea too. I just had a huge cup of dark black Indian tea today to give me a little energy. The funny thing was, I drank it, I did my work, and then I could sit down for a bit, and that was right when the caffeine kicked in. It's like, come on, man. I was tired the whole time I'm working. Then as soon as I sit down, the caffeine's like, as you can see now, I'm kind of like, I think the tea's still running through me a little bit. Steven says no to the Say Day banner. Darn, we're gonna we'll get you to do something at least, Steven. We'll get maybe a bumper sticker. We'll get you a Say Day Vacante bumper sticker. I think that would work pretty well. That Steven says a huge shift. Yeah, amen to that. I think it is. It is changing. Times they are changing. And I've seen it even here. I mean, we've done this show for podcasts since 2021. Crazy enough. So approaching 5 years, I think. I'm pretty sure it was 2020. It was the spring of 21 because it was right in the heart of COVID. So I think it must have been spring of 21. And I've just been able to see the change since then. I mean, just again, how the conversations are held, how people discuss these matters. It's really changing. It's cool. Really, it's a fun time to be in this sphere, to be part of it. Yeah, pretty cool. I know Father Applehands. I love Father Applehands. Father Applehands is fantastic. He is and he is like the best expert in terms of the Sede, not the Sede, the traditional Catholic tree. Who the bishops were in their entire lines. He knows them like the back of his head, and he's a very good liturgist. He knows the liturgy extremely well. Really cool priest. I've had him on the show a couple times. He's awesome. No, Father Applehands is one of my favorites. I actually knew him when he was a pretty small boy. He was good friends with one of my sisters, and it was funny because I was like, they were good. I don't know how to say best friends, but they were good friends. They went to school together, a Catholic school together, and they were good friends. And I know that even then, my sister, Sister Antonia, now she's the head sister in Phoenix, Arizona, at Our Lady of the Sun Chapel, and she was convinced she was going to be a nun, and I'm pretty sure Father Applehands already knew he wanted to be a priest, and I think they had this friendship. I think again, I don't want to speak for them, but I think they had this friendship kind of based around, they both wanted to be religious, they both wanted to give their lives to God, and this is when they were 10, maybe 9 or 10. So cool, love it. Great priest though. Again, Stephen, I mean, really can't recommend him enough. He is as good as they come. John Buggy, hey John, good to see you. I haven't been a while, John. Definitely always glad to see he's on here. The content has been great since you started doing more on here and less on the traditionalists. Yeah, I know not everyone liked the political stuff. Enjoyed that channel, but love the work you do here. Oh, I'm glad. See, John liked that channel too. Yeah, in the end, I do think there's a place for it, for the political stuff, and I think we'll still do some. I enjoy it. I like talking. Again, we're having a conversation right now with my buddy, like the traditionalists, on just a chat, and we're talking about the Second Amendment and the what was the Second Amendment supposed to be, and what is it now? What should it be? And it's a really interesting question. What is it? And I mean, I'm reading right now about John Adams, and it's so interesting to see how John Adams and Thomas Jefferson were totally different, totally conflicted, totally like they did not have the same vision, the same idea for America. They didn't want the same thing. They wanted independence, but what did that mean? What was independence? What should the leadership of America look like? And that they're totally different. And that's so fascinating. We just look at the founding fathers, they founded America as it is now. No, very complicated and really interesting stuff. I mean, very, very, very interesting to see how that all worked out. And anyway, there is a place for politics, but the channel just took up, as you said, took up too much of our time, and it just didn't really grow, and we just didn't have time to really give it what we want to do. The idea, I mean, part of it, like I I would never want to turn this channel into like a money maker, you know? Yeah, like a little bit of money and support is awesome because, it helps. And, I have 3 kids and we have programs that we need to run, etc. So if you want to support us, go over to Patreon. Um, but I don't want this to be my job because I think it's dangerous. It's a dangerous thing to be to have these types of opinions that are being funded, by someone. And that's dangerous. And so we thought, okay, maybe we could do one and have it succeed and it would be politics. And then I don't mind at all making money on that. And, in the end, we just didn't love it. It didn't have that, they didn't have that passion that we have for this channel. And that's why in the end, it just didn't work out. Tea time saying that it was the rosary and other things that drew me to traditional Catholic faith and of course the theology. Yeah, I've heard it um, often from people that are converts or that fell away from the faith, but just maybe didn't even pray the rosary, but they had a rosary even. They even just had it. They had it in their hands and they could feel that, that it brings back Mary and it just I think just that idea of even just keeping a rosary keeps you attached to Our Lady, right? It keeps you with her. It keeps her with you. And that idea, I think, it's converted a lot of people and brought a lot of people back to the faith, more than I've ever heard of. We used to do a lot of these shows where we talk to people about their conversions, and that was more often than anything, for sure. The Rosary and Our Lady brought people back for sure. And so, if you have people you want to convert, definitely pray to Our Lady. Um, that's the number one. Pray the Rosary, 100%. And yeah, and maybe give them a rosary, give them the brown scapular. I mean that's again, it's one of these weapons. As I'm wearing it here, that it's just it's amazing. It works miracles. It really does. I mean, the bishop, His Excellency Bishop Tavernus came here and he gave a sermon about that too, about the brown scapular and just how it actually works. It's an actual grace. It actually does something, and that's awesome. That idea that grace actually it's not physically tangible, but it is actual. It exists. It's not hokey pokey. It's not some idea. It's not an idea. It is. Grace is something. Our prayers do something, which is amazing. Oh, the Sailor Cast giving me money. I don't know why these guys. I have to then show their chats. Sede Picante. My California mountains are higher than your Bavarian mountains. My Colorado mountains are sometimes higher than your California. Okay, you have the highest one, but we have more high mountains than you do, and probably more high people than you do too, for that sake. So I think I win that one. Though I just climbed a mountain yesterday. Pretty cool. I drove. I live in the Alps, so I drove 15 minutes and hiked up to just amazing views. I don't know if anyone follows me on Facebook or Twitter. You can see some of the pictures. I hiked with my priest, Father Heine, which was really cool. Really cool, Mike. Really, really nice. Geigelstein. I'll type it in the chat if anyone wants to look it up. Really, really cool. But anyway, I think I'll probably wrap that up there. Again, I intend to not do this, so it is pretty Sede Picante. You got to come. You got to come visit sometime. I'm not kidding. Like that would be cool. I know you're not as silly as you are on Twitter all the time, and on YouTube. I think we'd have a good time. Really good hiking. I mean, just wow. It's a beautiful place. It really is. The villages and stuff too, and the churches. I mean, it's my favorite place on earth in terms of a region. It's just incredible. Here, so Upper Bavaria and then Tuscany. Tuscany is also beautiful. Green scapular for conversion, as Phil Gonzalez says. Yeah, right. I've heard that too. I mean, it doesn't have the sacramental powers, I think, of the brown scapular, but has its own special blessings, and I guess it's obviously sacramental. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I've heard that too. Green scapular, brown scapular, rosary. Certainly never hurts, and always helps. Um, but let me know for you guys who watch this, Anna Portuguesi. Are you in Portugal, by the way, Anna? I'm just curious. Because I heard, or I had an email from someone already probably a year ago now about asking about if there are Sedevacantists priests or people in Portugal, and unfortunately, hard to find. Certainly hard to find. But um, Portuguese is saying, "Here I am putting a Y at the end of my username to make it sound more feminine." Yeah, well, I don't know why. I think honestly, I just always assume someone in the chat is male unless their name is like female. Oh, you're with Father Gecko. Well, that's awesome. Well, then you're blessed. Father Gecko is the best. Um, all right, I'm rambling on enough. I appreciate all you guys. Let me know what you guys think about doing a weekly roundup. Again, it's not going to be just having a chat with all you guys. Maybe at the end. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe we'll do. Our Father Duterte goes to Portugal. That's awesome. Okay, good to know. Yeah, that'd be cool. I don't know. Like it was a long time ago. Someone asked, but it would be good to know. Yeah, that would be good information to have. People are often, I had someone, again, also from Slovakia and other places asking. Guy from Slovakia emailed me, and I told him about a mass near Venice, Italy, and now they know the priest, and I think I occasionally attend. So pretty cool. Again, one of those crazy things with this channel that I can kind of, like I don't do much of anything, but I have a lot of connections. So it's like, hey, if anyone wants to know where a priest is, I typically know someone somewhere. But I didn't know that about Portugal. So pretty cool. Pretty cool. More casual, chill live streams. Yeah, maybe at the end. I'm not quite as casual as Sede Vicante and these other guys, but it's fun. I like hanging out with the people in the comment section. That's pretty cool. I told my wife I'd be 30 minutes, and now I'm over 40. So she's probably in there like, okay, who's gonna unload the dishwasher? You guys know how to. I'm kidding. I know she would allow it. I'm giving her a hard time. All right, let's see. Was there anything else I wanted to say? I don't think so. I mean, again, like I said, the ones I mostly want to cover, I'm just going to mention again because they're the ones I read. Not everything. I don't have time, but I try to read as much as I can. Um, but the ones I really like, Nova Sort of Watch, obviously. WM Review, awesome. Intro Ebo, really good. Again, we've done tons of shows with him. Really good material on different stuff. Stephen Cox, we've seen in the comment section. Really cool guy. He's in one of the new ones, but a guy I really like. I think he's really a truth teller, someone who's really trying to get to the what's actually happening, and a really good writer and a good YouTuber. Man, his channel is growing faster than mine. Darn it, Steven. That's actually gonna bother me a little bit. I'm gonna start doing something else. I don't know how to I can't let new guys on YouTube uh get ahead of us, I suppose. But anyway, Steven, and then Chris Jackson, he's another one. He's not state of a contest. We're working on him, but really good stuff. Really good material. Again, just kind of like Nova Sort of Watch. Um, he just goes into what's going on in the Nova Sort of Church, but very well written and researched. Okay, I'll look through the comments one last time. Okay, Sede Picante and Phil. I guess I don't have to read these ones. Love you guys. Awesome. Sede AP is actually kind of quiet and boring. I actually totally could believe that. I could totally believe like him coming here and being like, this is the most weird, awkward thing until he brings out the puppets, and then it'll probably be amazing. So he can hang out with the kids and do the puppets, and I'll go hiking. Anyway. Okay, I appreciate all you guys. Thanks for being here. Anthony Stein bugs me. I don't really get Anthony Stein, honestly. I don't really understand him. He's another one of these really smart guys who gets it all but doesn't get it all. I don't know. Like he had a weird communication last week with me and a couple other guys on Twitter that was like kind of bizarre, like saying that there's no partial communion with Rome, which is like, yeah, that's true, but like his arguments are all like partial communion with Rome. So it's like, I'm sorry, like I don't want to bash Anthony Stein. He seems like a nice guy. Like I think I would like him, but his some of his opinions and stuff are kind of like, dude, how do you not get this? I don't know. Like he seems like he understands it all, but then can't make that step, I suppose. Which, as I said earlier in the show, we do have to understand that is a hard step. It is to just because I mean, think about it this way. I've again born and raised Sede Vacantis, which everyone in the world I think knows by now. I saw Stephen and Louis mention it in their podcast, and so I don't have that experience, but I can imagine if you've gone your whole life there, and then you have to start doubting all of the the ordinations and consecrations and the sacraments. That's tough. That's tough. That's a big step. That's like, oh shoot, that's a problem. That's a big problem. But again, look at someone like I'm sure Anthony Stein. I shouldn't say I'm sure. I imagine he really respects Vigano, Archbishop Vigano, who went and got conditionally reconsecrated as a bishop because he obviously doubted his consecration. What Catholics believe, good point, Phil Gonzalez, for a good thing to watch. Father Jenkins. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Definitely don't agree with the SSPV on everything on their opinions of sedevacandism, or no, I shouldn't say that. Their opinions of the CMRI, the took consecrations, but definitely good material. They've been doing it forever. Really amazing. Um, Beacon full 2,000 tals in 15 minutes. You guys are a riot. All right, guys. I appreciate you all. We'll leave it on that wonderful comment from Didymus. Um, I really, it's fun. We'll have to do this more often. Just do some chill chats. Maybe we'll have to have on some people to just chill and chat with the comment section, because I do actually enjoy it. Random Catholic, just for the record, I'm in full NO victory over Earth guy, but I do enjoy your content. Full NO victory over no. I don't understand what you mean, random Catholic. I am a full no victory over Earth guy, or do you mean Novus Ordo victory over Earth guy? Or are you saying you're a flat earther? If you're a flat earther, then get out of the chat. I'm kidding. Um, Whoever you are, I'm glad you're in the channel. In the end, yeah, I mean, we want to glorify God and do our best to, yeah, have good content. Novus Ordo. Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, keep watching our content and we'll get you too. We're gonna get you a bumper sticker too. You just wait. You tell me where you live. I'll get you. I'll get a Sede Vacantis priest on your tail and send you a Sede Vacante bumper sticker and we'll get you. We'll get you random Catholic. Um, That's a good point. Okay, last one. Okay, I really do have to go. I think my wife truly is waiting for me. John says, "Hey, something that should have been brought up on the Sadie P stream was that the best episode was one where Mr. Davis came on, didn't take a breath, and delivered absolute gold." It's so true. My dad is like he's like a stream of consciousness. He's so smart. Like I don't know. Like my brains, I did not get my brains from my dad. That's certainly the case. Because he's amazing. He's so intelligent. My mom too. I don't know. It skipped me. Um and he just wasn't it like an hour long where he just described the entire history of the entire position, like everything that's happened since like the 1960s. Amazing. He's amazing. No, I love doing shows with him. I got to do more. It's the issue since the traditionalist. I haven't done as many shows with my dad, but I really always love doing shows with my dad. He's just full of information all the time. He just knows. um Tucson. Okay, no, no, sorry. No, I know some good priests over in Tucson. I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you in Catholic. Then I'm gonna hunt you down and get you over there. My sisters are in Phoenix, and um, go over and watch their video. What's it called? It's really one of the best videos we've ever done. On sisters being sisters or something like that. I don't remember. Someone in the chat helped me out. But it's with my two nun sisters, and it's awesome. Really good. And they're in Phoenix. You meet with them once, and Father Gronenthal in Phoenix. You got to go meet them at least. Come on, random Catholic. Okay, I'm not going to try to convert you right here, but they are the best. My sisters are amazing because not just because they're my sisters. They're really awesome. They're really awesome. And Father Gronenthal is the best. He is the best. He's amazing, and he's just a full of life guy who loves coffee and ice cream. He's amazing. You got to go over to Phoenix. Go over to Our Lady of the Sun. I know Tucson's what I think it's an hour from Phoenix, right? It's not that far, if I remember right. Our Lady of the Sun in Phoenix. Try it out. You'll love it. I really believe that. Guys, I really have to go. Stop chatting, for goodness sake. October is coming up. I would love a video about the history of the Catholic faith in Portugal and Our Lady's protection over her for 1,000 years. Well, Anna, since you're a writer, write me a script and I will read it for you. You write me a script and I will read it and we'll make a video out of it. Okay, for October. So that's my deal. If you do it, you write the script and I will turn it into a video. Random Catholic 2 hours. Okay, yeah, that's pretty far. It's a beautiful church. I haven't been there, but I've seen pictures of it, and I'm telling you, the people there are top notch. And you can tell them Kevin Davis sent you, and they will roll out the red carpet. And Father will give you the best coffee you've ever had in your life, guaranteed. All right, guys, I really do have to go. My wife's going to be mad at me. Not really, but maybe also. All right. It's so hard to say goodbye. I have so many texts coming in. Matrix sees another good question. How do I find a good priest in my area? I'm Northeast PA. Northeast PA. There's two priests I know of. There's Father Gabriel Lavery in Maine, southern Maine. I don't know how north you are. And there's Father Laterno in Boston. There is Father Brendan Hughes somewhere in Connecticut, I think. There's a lot. Northeast has got quite a few. My buddy Matt, who I do a show with once a week, is up there in Connecticut, I think. Thank you, Julia. Yeah, I know I got to get going. That's right. My wife she's making bread. She's making sourdough bread. Oh, it's amazing. I'm so spoiled. My email is kevin89davis@gmail.com. Or if you're sending an attachment, that email is pretty full. So send it to popesandpipes@gmail.com. That's all spelled out. So no ampersand. It's popes, A-N-D, pipes@gmail.com. Father Brendan took over Father Colin Chapel. Is it in New York? Yeah, but I think he also goes to Connecticut. So I think he may be in New York and Connecticut. There's quite a few. Yeah, there are quite a few churches up in the Northeast and some good priests. Father Gabriel's the only one I love. He was one of my teachers in high school in Omaha, and one of the smartest people I've ever met. Just amazingly smart, and he can juggle. He can also juggle, which is pretty cool. Popes and pipe, yeah, that's it at Gmail. Yeah, again, like I said, send me a script. That's what we do. I mean, I would love to get scripts from new people. That really is something that we love, making new content. Some of it is just having ideas and scripts, and I mean, I like reading and recording. My dad likes editing, but we just don't always have the content. So if you have something, that'd be fantastic. Definitely. That'd be really nice. So thank you for whatever you can provide, Anna. And I think again with that, I really do. Okay. We'll see you guys next time. Yeah, let's do this. We'll have to do this more often. Maybe that's what we'll do. We'll do a roundup. I'll try to make it like 20 minutes, 30 minutes. And then afterwards we'll do a chat, because this was fun. I really, it's nice as the channel has grown. There's more people who just randomly join. So maybe if everyone knows I'm doing this on a Friday at, what is it now, 2 p.m. Eastern time, people will show up, which is pretty cool. Who was it that asked? Matrix, I think it was, that asked the question about the church there. Yeah, definitely. If you have any questions, let me know. You can email me, as you see that comment there, popesandpipes@gmail.com, or go to cmri.org. They're the ones I know of. SSPV definitely does also have mass centers in the Northeast. I don't know where, but I do know that they are in New York and other places. Definitely, if you're closer to them, I'd recommend them. Um, and yeah, otherwise, we'll see you guys. Yeah, randomly. It was pretty random. I didn't really plan this. I just told my wife like I think I'm just gonna go do a podcast for 30 minutes. And she's the best. And she's like, okay, that's fine. I'm gonna make some sourdough bread. Lucky guy. Lucky guy. All right. All right. God bless y'all. I'm trying to think next week. Louis is not going to be here. So we're gonna have to do like a best of video, I think, from his Vatican II podcast so far. I think we may do some parenting videos next week. I actually have a vacation. I have a pilgrimage next week, so I'm going to Alt Etting on a 2-day pilgrimage, which is gonna be awesome. So I'll be gone for those days. But that's why. So yeah, next weekend I can't do this because I'll be yeah, on pilgrimage. So I'll try to remember to pray for all you guys. I'm gonna definitely pray for random because we're gonna get you. We're gonna get you. All right, and BW vids, we're gonna get you too. We're gonna get you. I'll go on my pilgrimage and I'll say a prayer for you guys to Our Lady of All Ditting, and yeah, you're gonna be in trouble. You're not gonna have a chance then. All right. Let's see. I just cannot give. I like it. I like it. I'm like an addict. Oh, I just can't believe. Well, not say the newest channel, Historia Ecclesiastica, has some very good, thorough, deep analysis of the issue with Vatican II changes. Good intro discussion points for NO Catholics. Oh, okay, interesting. Good to know. I had not heard of that one. Sounds good. Yes, you are definitely right. All books make up the Vatican II videos. Yes, I will. I will do. Promise. Good idea. God bless y'all. We'll see you next.